Hello, my name's Catherine Williams and I'm the percussion lead for Surrey Arts. Welcome to the percussion family. Percussion instruments are anything that can be hit with a mallet or shook, such as marimbas, xylophones, drum kits, tambourines, triangles, vibraphones, djembes. The percussion family hosts hundreds of different instruments and many of these can be learnt through Surrey Arts. I hope you enjoy the virtual tour that you're just about to see, which includes many of the instruments that are on offer through Surrey Arts. If you're interested to learn them, please do get in touch with us and we welcome you. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Keith from Surrey Arts and today I'm going to talk to you about the mysterious art of drum tuning. Now they say that 80% of the sound of a drum comes from the head, so it's an important skill to be able to do. Your type of playing will affect your choice of drum head. If you want an open, bright sound with plenty of ring, choose a single ply head. This means there's only one layer of plastic. A downside to these is they can get damaged through hard playing. Heads can be coated or clear. This old head I've removed from a drum is coated, which slightly damps the sound, but is critical for when playing with brushes. The other type of head is 2-ply. This means that there are 2 layers of plastic. This gives the head a more focused, darker, damped sound. If you're a harder player, these could be a good choice as they are more durable. So before we change and tune the head, we need to know the names of the different parts of the drum. So have a look at these labelled pictures. I've placed the drum on a drum stool so I can spin the drum to access all the tension rods. It also damps the bottom skin so I'm only hearing the top head. You'll need a drum key and also a drumstick to tap the head. I'm now going to take off this old drum head by undoing the tension rods. You'll want to put the rim back onto the drum in the same position as you removed it. I take out one tension rod and make a note of which lug it came from. Make sure that when you put the rim back on, the missing tension rod is over the same lug. Check to make sure that the bearing edge of the shell is clean. Put the new drum head on, placing the logo where you want it. Then put the rim back on, remembering to line up the missing tension rod to the correct lug. Screw in all the tension rods until the collars just touch the rim. Tighten every tension rod to the tightest you can do with your fingers. If every rod is as tight as your fingers can go, they will all be the same tension and you'll begin tuning from an even starting point. Once done, push down hard with one hand into the middle of the drum. This helps to seat the head, which means stretching it so it takes the shape of the edge of the drum shell. Then check once more that all the tension rods are still finger tight. With one hand pushing into the centre of the drum, pick a lug to start with and turn the tension rod 180 degrees or half a turn. Move to the opposite side and do the same. You always want to tighten opposites to pull the head down evenly. You should see the wrinkles begin to smooth out. Move to the next lug and turn it half a turn, and then once again move to the opposite side. Continue in this star pattern until every lug has been turned once. Using your stick, go around the drum tapping the head by each lug, listening to the sound. You are listening to make sure that the pitch is roughly the same at each tension rod. If one area is obviously lower or higher than the others, adjust it with your key. The most important bit, listening to the complete sound. The sound is even, but I'd like it a little higher pitched, so I'm going to tune it up a little bit more. Use the same procedure to tune the bottom head. The bottom head is also called the resonator head, and it plays a vital role in controlling resonance, sustain and pitch of the drum. There are 3 possible ways to tune double-headed drums. 1. Tune the top head and the bottom head to the same pitch. This gives a pure tone and the longest sustain. 2. Tune the bottom head lower than the top. This produces a pitch bend and allows the drum to sound deep with good sustain. 3. Tune the bottom head tighter than the top. This also produces a slight pitch bend, but with a shallower sound and a shorter sustain. The important thing to do is experiment and find your favourite tunings that work for your drums. Tighten the heads up, loosen them off again and look for the sound that you really love. I'm Keith from Surrey Arts, and I hope you found this video on drum tuning informative.
Hello, my name is Ben and I work for Surrey Arts as one of the drum kit and percussion tutors. In this video I'm going to give a short introduction to the electronic drum kit. This is an electronic drum kit. It has pads for the drums and cymbals, with cables connecting the cymbals and the drum pads to the box, which is called a brain. The brain produces the sounds that then go to the speaker so we can hear them, like this. Of the electronic drum kit is that you can plug in headphones. This dramatically reduces the volume and means that you can play without disturbing people nearby. The other advantage is you can make lots of different sounds on the drum kit. Have a listen to these. introduction to the electronic drum kit.
Hello, my name is Peter, and in this video I'm going to introduce the marimba. The marimba is a tuned percussion instrument, and it is most commonly used for solo and chamber music. The keys are made from various woods, including rosewood. A xylophone also has wooden keys, but a marimba differs by its graduated bars, lower notes, and slightly longer sustain, due to the resonators. We play the marimba with mallets, which are usually wrapped around a rubber core with yarn. However, there are so many different types of mallets, all different shapes and sizes, and weights, all producing various sounds. For example, more note definition for playing passages in higher registers, or less contact noise for rolls in the lower registers. You can play the marimba with two mallets, like this, or with four mallets, like this. Three marimba players to check out are Evelyn Glennie, Keiko Abe, and Zivkovic. Hi, my name is Peter, and in this video I'm going to tell you a brief history of the marimba. The marimba is a descendant from the xylophone, developed with the idea to create more resonance and sustain to its notes. This means when played, a longer sound will be produced in comparison to a xylophone. This was achieved by the creation of resonators, which are the long tubes underneath the notes bars. The marimba was first created and very commonly used in Africa. Among tribes, the marimba was used for festivals, funerals, and as an integral part of their traditional dances. During the period of the slave trade, the African marimba was brought and later developed in America by John Deegan. Between 1910 and 1918, the first American marimba was produced with metal resonators and straight keys which were arranged chromatically, the same as the modern piano. The next development of the marimba was in the 1970s in Japan. Yamaha, a world-renowned instrument company, sought after Keiko Abe, who is arguably the most influential composer and performer for marimba, to help design their new instruments. The main change to the marimba was that the range of the instrument was stretched to make it larger, from 4 octaves to 5, therefore adding more notes. This allowed for the instrument to have lower notes, essential and standard in both solo and chamber or group music.
Hi and welcome to the xylophone. The xylophone is a tuned percussion instrument made out of wood, and it's a medium-sized instrument. This one's got 3 octaves. They can go down an extra octave as well, down to 4 octaves in total. The xylophone is a great instrument. It's really versatile and it's used across lots of different settings. You'll often see it at the very back of the orchestra, in percussion ensembles, concert bands, wind bands, and also as a solo instrument. You might have heard the xylophone in quite a famous little tune that goes like this. In orchestras, it's often used if a tune really needs to come out across the whole orchestra. And there's quite a famous xylophone excerpt from Porgy and Bess, and it shows off how fast and flamboyant you can be on a xylophone. And it goes on and on for pages and pages like that. I really love playing the xylophone because it's so much fun. You can do all sorts of it, from the little tunes we've heard already, down to kind of rag stuff, in thirds like that. And it's a really nice one to play in the orchestra because you can get all the attention on you when you're playing it. At the beginning you heard me doing a gliss, and you can do single glisses, and if you really want to make it magical you can double that up to make a multiple gliss. The xylophone is laid out just like the other keyboard percussion instruments in the same way as a piano. So down here you've got what would be the white notes on the piano, and up here these would be the black notes, which is why it works particularly well for those glisses. That's just a C major scale. If you go up to the black notes you can get a really nice pentatonic. I think the glissando though is my absolute favourite thing to do on a xylophone.
Hello, my name is Ben Hartley and I'm one of the percussion tutors at Surrey Arts. Today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the Glockenspiel. The Glockenspiel is a tuned percussion instrument. Other examples of tuned percussion instruments are xylophone, marimba and vibraphone. The xylophone and marimba notes are made of wood. The vibraphone and glockenspiels are made of metal. The glockenspiel sits in the high register and is normally played with hard sticks. This gives the glockenspiel a metallic twinkling sound when played. The smaller the note, the higher the pitch. So the smallest note is high and the biggest note is low. You can do what's called a gliss on the glockenspiel, where you slide between the notes, which makes it sound quite magical. Here is a tune you may know.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark and I'd like to show you the snare drum. Let me start with showing you the different sounds you can make on the drum. So, here I've got my strainer. The strainer is on, I can also click it off, but let me put it on and the drum sounds like this. Okay, when I take it off, click, and the drum sounds like this. Completely different. Put it back on. What you also can do is play on the rim, this bit of the drum. Sounds like this. Or another sound you can make is by putting the stick on the drum head and clicking the stick on the rim. That's called rim click. Another sound you can make is by hitting the rim and the drum head at exactly the same time. It's called a rim shot. Sounds like this. Very loud. I've got a little trick because it's quite hard to hit the rim and the drum head at exactly the same time. So what I do is I put this stick flat on the rim and the drum head and I hit it with the other stick, and then you get a similar sound. So it makes it a bit easier. Okay, so when you start learning the drums, you start learning basic rhythms like these. 3, 4. Okay, and what's also important to learn is your rudiments, your technical exercises, so you exercise your wrists and your hands, like for instance single strokes. Or double strokes. Paradiddle. Funny name. Okay, so let me combine all these different exercises and sounds into a short piece. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Welcome to the timpani. These are the largest drums in the whole orchestra, and they usually sit right at the back in the middle, known as the king of the orchestra for their big sound and usually playing the bass lines. They're tuned with a pedal which you push down, which means you can do exciting things like this. And like I say, usually playing the bass line, but because of those pedals, you can have a little bit of fun and play tunes that you might recognise. You'd usually have a pair of timpani, 2, sometimes a third timpani, sometimes even a fourth or even a fifth timpani. There are some pieces which are even written for up to 12 timpani, so you have lots of different notes. We've heard what they can do with their tuning, but you can also play the timpani in lots of different ways. So you'll see sometimes timpanists playing a note and then covering it, and this is called dampening. It stops the sound from going on too long. That's quite different to quite a lot of other instruments in the percussion family, which usually have quite a short sustain. So with the timpani, what's lovely is that you can play a note and it keeps going for ages and ages and ages. But you can also play them with really short notes. Fast and also quiet notes. Say my favourite thing is definitely that glissando we heard earlier on.